What's up everyone and welcome back to MMA Buzz. After scoring an impressive TTO victory over Lucas Almeida on the UFC prelims, Michael Aswell may have accidentally revealed one of the UFC's biggest upcoming fights. During his post-fight interview, Aswell appeared to leak that flyweight champion Alexandre Pantoja is set to defend his title against rising prospect Joshua Van at UFC 323 in Las Vegas on December 6. Speaking with visible excitement, Aswell said, "One thing I love about this sport is fighting. I just saw it got announced. Las Vegas, December 6. My best friend Joshua Van is fighting. I'd love to be on his card, man. He's fighting Pinto for the championship. If we can get on that card, I'd love it. I'm healthy. I'm ready. Let's go, baby. 4 ounces Fight Club in this thing. Use the tank to stand up. Let's go." The passionate outburst instantly caught the attention of MMA fans worldwide. Aswell's comments hinted at a massive title matchup between the reigning flyweight king Pantoja and the young, undefeated contender Joshua Van. News that the UFC has yet to officially confirm. If true, this would mark Van's first ever title opportunity. Just a few fights into his UFC career, and a chance to shock the world by taking on one of the most dominant champions in the division. Pantoja, known for his relentless pace, slick grappling, and championship composure, has defended his belt with authority, defeating top contenders like Brandon Royval and Brandon. Van, on the other hand, represents the new generation, fast, fearless, and hungry to make history. While the UFC remains silent on the leak, Aswell's enthusiasm has already ignited speculation across social media. Fans are now eagerly waiting for official confirmation of what could be one of the most electrifying flyweight title fights of the year. Before moving on to the next news, we have a quick request for you. We're always working to improve our content and truly value your support. If you could take a moment to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon, it would mean a lot to us. That way, you'll never miss an update. Move on to another news. Mario Pinto continued his undefeated rise in the heavyweight division with a dominant TTO victory over Jonata Diniz in the second round, extending his record to 11-0. The bout showcased Pinto's evolving skill set and composure under pressure, proving he's more than just a knockout artist. Former UFC champion Anthony Pettis praised the young contender, saying, "Mario Pinto is part of the next generation of heavyweights coming up. He's a problem." The MMA guru echoed that sentiment, commenting, "Great win from Pinto. He showed another side of his game using grappling to get it done." The fight itself was a physical battle. Diniz, known for his size and raw power, struggled to keep up with Pinto's pace. By the end of the second round, Diniz was visibly exhausted, unable to get back to his knees after several scrambles, allowing Pinto to capitalize with heavy ground and pound until the referee stepped in. After the fight, Pinto reflected on the win and the journey leading up to it. "It feels really good," he said. "I'm proud of my team for supporting me through this. I came into what people called enemy territory, but honestly, I've got nothing but love for Brazil. We're all fighters at the end of the day, and to get the W here, it feels amazing." Pinto explained his approach to the fight, revealing that his initial plan was to stand and trade. "The whole camp, we said we were going to go in there, stand in front of him and throw missiles. That's my style. But when he threw, I jabbed, snapped his head back, and as he stepped in, I tripped and fell on his leg. When he went down, I just reacted. I was trying to get up, but he was holding me, so I stayed heavy and kept working. He also shared a lighthearted moment about adapting mid-fight. "My coaches were yelling at me saying, 'Stop grappling and just do what you do. Take his head off.' But it worked out. I got him down again, and when the opportunity came, I just started throwing until the ref stopped it. I guess those grappling tutorials I watched paid off." Reflecting on his development, Pinto added, "For me, it's all about cage time. Every minute in there is gold. I've only had 11 pro fights, and once you get to the top of the division is full of sharks. You have to be ready for anything. My last fight wasn't my best, even though I won. But tonight, I showed I'm improving. I'm evolving every fight, and this is just the beginning." Move on to another news. Raja Jackson, the son of MMA legend Rampage Jackson, has officially pleaded not guilty in what's being called the Psycho Stew case. On Thursday, Raja appeared in court to enter his plea to multiple charges, including 1 felony and 1 misdemeanor battery count. The charges stem from an altercation earlier this year involving Raja and a man known online as Psycho Stew. According to MMA Fighting, Raja returned to court this week after posting bail in September. The case has gained massive public public attention due to the severity of the alleged injuries. Reports indicate that Psycho Stu suffered multiple facial fractures and lost several teeth as a direct result of the confrontation. Because of these serious injuries, prosecutors have filed a sentencing enhancement, which allows for harsher penalties when significant bodily harm is involved. If convicted, Raja Jackson could face up to 7 years in prison, a major risk for someone who, until now, had largely remained out of the spotlight compared to his father, Rampage Jackson, a legend in Pride and the UFC. The incident has brought unwanted attention to the Jackson family, especially as footage and online commentary about the altercation spread rapidly across social media. Since the situation became public, Raja has maintained a low profile. Apart from a brief reaction shared on the streaming platform Kick shortly after the incident, he has not made any formal public statement or participated in interviews to explain his side of the story. Meanwhile, reports confirm that Psycho Stu's injuries are significant, and he is still recovering from the damage sustained. Legal experts have emphasized that the bodily harm enhancement makes this case particularly serious. While the battery charges alone might not result in a lengthy sentence, the added enhancement could drastically increase the potential punishment if Raja is found guilty. Currently, Raja's legal team remains confident in their ability to challenge the charges and clear his name. The next court date will determine whether the case proceeds to trial or moves toward a possible settlement. For now, the situation remains tense as both sides prepare for what could become a highly publicized courtroom battle. Move on to another news. A newly surfaced angle of the infamous brawl between Khamzat Chimaev and Khabib Nurmagomedov's cousin, Abubakar Nurmagomedov, has reignited discussion across the MMA world. This unseen footage provides a completely different perspective on one of the most chaotic moments in UFC history. Unlike the original clip, which mainly showed Khamzat attacking Abubakar and the ensuing chaos, this new video focuses entirely on Khabib's reaction as the scene unfolded right before him. In the clip, Khabib can be seen climbing halfway up the cage, watching the confrontation from above with a tense expression. He grips the fence tightly, visibly conflicted between stepping in and staying back. The tension in his body language shows how close he was to intervening, yet out of respect, and to avoid escalating the situation, Khabib ultimately restrains himself. His decision to stay calm, even as emotions ran high, prevented a potentially explosive moment between two of Dagestan's most prominent fighters. At one point, Khabib glances over to see his cousin shouting angrily at Khamzat, fully aware of what's unfolding. It's surreal to realize how close the MMA world came to witnessing a full-blown confrontation between Khabib and Khamzat, two dominant forces from the same region. The energy in that moment was pure chaos, and according to eyewitnesses, the two camps were just seconds away from an even bigger brawl breaking out. People from the Caucasus region, especially Dagestanis, are known for their deep sense of loyalty, unity, and honor. Helping a friend or family member in a fight is often seen as an obligation, which makes Khabib's restraint even more commendable. He chose composure and discipline over pride and emotion, a decision that may have prevented one of the most controversial incidents in UFC history. As this old footage goes viral again, attention has also turned toward Khamzat's fighting future. Reports suggest he's being considered for a bout against either Nasruddin Imavov or the winner of Rainier de Ridder versus Brendan Allen at UFC Vancouver. De Ridder himself confirmed that he insisted on staying on this card for the chance to face Khamzat, saying, "I wanted to stay active because I think Khamzat might want to fight before Ramadan. If I beat Fluffy, that could earn me the matchup." Move on to another news. Josh Thompson recently shared his detailed thoughts on the upcoming lightweight showdown between Charles Oliveira and Mateusz Gamrot. While a large section of the MMA community believes Oliveira is returning too soon after his brutal knockout loss to Ilia Topuria earlier this year, Thompson strongly disagrees. He insists that Do Bronx still possesses all the tools to make a statement and remind everyone why he was once regarded as the most dangerous finisher in lightweight history. Thompson emphasized that this fight is not just another matchup, it's a stylistic clash that could produce firework. Gamrot brings relentless forward pressure, high-paced chain wrestling, and non-stop scrambles, while Oliveira thrives in chaos, walking through adversity to deliver devastating attacks. That contrast in styles, according to Thompson, guarantees an action-packed battle from start to finish. Both men love to engage, both dictate the pace, and both have finishing instincts that make them must-watch fighters. Thompson noted that Gamrot has a huge opportunity to insert himself into title contention with a win here, but he's stepping into the octagon with someone capable of ending a fight in a heartbeat, whether it's with strikes or submissions. He also highlighted that Oliveira has bigger ambitions beyond this bout, including a potential call-out of Max Holloway for the BMF title. However, before any of that can happen, he must first overcome a surging contender in Gamrot, who already holds a victory over Arman, proving his ability to compete with elite-level opponents. In his technical breakdown, Thompson warned fans not to count Oliveira out. He recalled how Arman Tsarukyan barely survived multiple submission attempts from Gamrot during their clash, and reminded everyone that Charles operates on an entirely different level when it comes to grappling and finishing ability. He's dangerous everywhere, Thompson said. On the feet, on the ground. In transitions, Charles can catch you at any moment. While acknowledging that Gamrot is likely the better pure wrestler, Thompson argued that Oliveira remains the more dynamic striker and vastly superior submission artist. The real question, he said, is whether Gamrot can maintain control long enough to neutralize Oliveira's unpredictable offense. If I have to lean toward one guy, Josh concluded. Move on to another news. In his welterweight debut, Joel Alvarez secured a unanimous decision victory over veteran Vicente Luque, marking a successful start to his campaign in a new division. However, the win didn't come without controversy. Early in the first round, Alvarez appeared to have Luque in serious trouble, landing a barrage of strikes that many observers believed warranted a stoppage. The referee, however, allowed the fight to continue, sparking heated debate among fans and fighters alike. Former UFC champion Anthony Pettis reacted strongly on social media, writing, "We're just going to ignore that Joel Alvarez got robbed of a first-round finish and enjoy this fight." Analyst Alan Juban echoed the frustration, stating, "This referee is horrible." Journalist Damon Martin added, "Nobody seems to know the rules, but that should have been a TKO." Even the MMA guru weighed in, saying, "What was the ref doing in round 1? Alvarez legally finished Luque and still gave him 4 minutes to recover, not even a point deducted." Despite the chaos, Alvarez maintained composure and dominated the rest of the fight with crisp striking, clean footwork, and tactical distance control. His performance showcased refined boxing and improved defensive awareness, keeping Luque at bay and neutralizing the Brazilian's grappling threats. When the final bell rang, all three judges scored the fight in favor of Alvarez, confirming his impressive debut at 170 pounds. After the fight, Alvarez reflected on the moment, admitting it was a short-notice call-up, but one he gladly accepted. "I was brought in as a substitute for this fight, just 3 weeks' notice, but I felt great," he said. "It felt really good to compete at this new weight. Going back to light would be tough for me. I feel much more comfortable here. Even though I might be a bit smaller as a welterweight, my energy, movement, and comfort level are much better." He went on to describe his strategy. "We knew how dangerous Luque was, so the plan was to keep it standing, focus on boxing, and avoid the takedowns. I wanted to maintain distance, use movement, and control the fight with my hands. That's exactly what we executed." Looking ahead, Alvarez expressed openness to any opponent the UFC offers. "Luque is a respected veteran, very well established in this division, so this win means a lot," he said. "Now, I'm ready for whatever challenge the company decides." Move on to another news. Charles Oliveira delivered yet another masterclass performance, defeating Mateusz Gamrot via rear naked choke in the second round, further cementing his legacy as one of the greatest finishers in UFC history. With this victory, Oliveira extended his record to 21 career finishes and 17 submission victories, both the highest totals in UFC history. He also climbed to second place on the all-time wins list with 24 victories, trailing only a handful of UFC legends. The bout began with high intensity, as Gamrot immediately tried to impose his wrestling-heavy game plan, pressing forward and looking for takedowns. Oliveira, however, displayed trademark composure, using precise timing, slick striking, and calculated defense to keep Gamrot off balance. In the second round, the momentum shifted decisively when Oliveira capitalized on a failed takedown attempt, transitioning smoothly to Gamrot's back and sinking in a tight rear naked choke. The tap came quickly, a familiar sight for fans who have witnessed Oliveira's elite grappling dominance over the years. After the fight, Oliveira didn't waste any time setting his sights on his next challenge. Standing inside the octagon in front of his home crowd in Rio de Janeiro, he called out Max Holloway for a BMF title rematch, saying confidently, "Hey Hunter, Charles Oliveira and Max Holloway for the BMF belt. Let's make that happen." Holloway responded almost instantly on social media, posting a playful gif of DJ Khaled with the caption, "Another one," hinting at his interest in the matchup. The MMA community erupted with reactions. Former champion Anthony Pettis called it a masterclass, while Aljamain Sterling tweeted, "Holy do Bronx," adding praise for Oliveira's elite composure. Ariel Helwani wrote, "I guess Oliveira didn't come back too soon after all. What a J." Another submission. Derek Brunson added, "Charles Oliveira cooked Gamrot at home in Rio. Gamrot looked confident all week and thought he had the advantage. I guess he did, until until he didn't. What a win! Former middleweight champion Chris Weidman congratulated Oliveira, saying, "Awesome to see him do that in his home country, especially coming off the loss he had." UFC legend BJ Penn called Oliveira the most exciting fighter in the business. Even Henry Cejudo joined the conversation, suggesting future matchups: Topuria versus Gash, Oliveira versus Paddy, and Sarukian versus Hooker.